jobs. While Miss Mantisa, oh my God, the choice as well. All right, indeed, those are not heresies. There is analytical research that was done by, it's not me, it's Harvard. And they found that people who use AI are faster and better in performance than those who do not use AI. I'm not going to force you to use AI, but remember, Ms. Mantisa will be replaced by Ms. AI, if not already replaced by at least. The beautiful part is that even if you choose not to participate in the AI ecosystem, Malawi is already participating, and your peers are already participating in AI. Look at this positioning. Malawi is at position what? 23 out of how many countries in Africa than you are? Right. So how does an AI look like? You have a phone, smartphone. How many of you use your face to open your phone? How many? You just bring your phone to your face and then it opens up. I tried one time to use my face to open the phone. Then when I was asleep, my wife took the phone, brought it to my face, and the phone was smiling through the phone. I said, now I have to change. But the moment you use the phone and your face to log into your phone, you are interacting with the AI. What you do is the moment you bring your phone to your face, 30,000 shots of your face are taken. Different contours, different shape of your face, and it uniquely identifies you. That's AI. If you Google, I'm going to Lilongwe, I'm going to present, have to Google. What's the distance from Blantyre to Lilongwe? They give me those options. Look at the intelligence in there. It says Blantyre to Johannesburg flights. And it says Blantyre to Mzuzu via Lakeshore. Why doesn't it say Blantyre to Neno flight? Why doesn't it say that? Or Blantyre to Neno via Lakeshore? Why doesn't it say that? It learns what is on the continent. And there's a smart thing with that. You can browse about how many tribes are there in Malawi. The moment you Google that, this first plant page you see there is an AI overview. What it means is that it goes out there, look at other documents about Malawi, extract information, and present to you a summary in a nice, precise way. As for writing emails, the moment you start replying, dear, there I was replying to dear Lecious Rwanda. We all know Lecious Rwanda, eh? If I were not to speak here, Lecious should have been the one speaking, because Lecious is into AI full time. She was my classmate at some point. One of the brilliant women I've met in my life. Okay, so here I was applying. The moment I load dear Lecious, you gave me suggestion. That is AI. There's another AI there. Who can tell me the other AI that is there on the email? There's another AI there, another way. Closer to spam. What's there? The number 3, isn't it? If you look at spam, it has the number 3 there. How did the inbox know that this is a spam letter? Or this is an that again is AI. Now, since last year, it doesn't just help you to finish. You can actually task it to write on your behalf and send it to your boss. Suppose you are designing and there was a boss who was harsh to you. You can say, please help me write to my boss that I'm resigning today. And send it. You can write and send it to your boss. Or if you really didn't like the boss, you say, can you please improve the tone? Make it very harsh. He was a very rude person. Then it will improve the tone to the taste you want. That again is AI in practice right now. As from the airport, please, if you are airport And those wars are being fought using artificial intelligence. So there are so many examples. These are also AI. AI looks like this, Terminators, films, and actually you can make a film on your own. Again, that's AI. In military, I usually talk to the generals, the army, they're also using AI. So whether you're driving a car, your phone, you go to the hospital, anything you do, almost every sector now is affected. Well, not affected, improved rather, by AI. So briefly, I will just highlight what is AI and what are the steps involved in using AI or building your own AI. Especially, I'm talking to this generation. You could build your AI instantly, within a day. So I'll give you that opportunity. There is this definition of artificial intelligence. So it is the ability of machines to mimic intelligence, especially those factors or those activities that were deemed to be done by human being. Of course, there are so many weaknesses with that definition, but it gives us a starting point. Anything that can think, anything that can recognize speech, anything that can take a decision is an AI. At the moment, we are just at the beginning of AI, too far from what we really want. Do you know what we really want? Do you know what we really want in the AI field? We want to create a human being. Because you are the most complicated machine ever created. I sometimes joke to say the day I will die, I'll say, God, before you judge me whether I'm going to hell or to heaven, tell me what kind of programming language did you use on me? Because you guys are perfectly programmed. At that time, we'll be in 4, where we have surpassed all the capabilities of a human being, and the AI thinks on its own, is self-conscious. At that time, we have lost the control to the machine. It's not going to happen in your time, but that's the ultimate goal. At the moment, we are in 3. So whether you are using Transformer, ChatGPT, anything else, we are still using early stages of AI. The future will actually depend on you contributing to the betterment of the technology. Now, AI is neither an intelligence or artificial. It's just a technology that suggests the most probable thing. A lot of you have been AIs at some point. When 2 friends chat, especially you ladies, you do a lot of chatting, you can actually finish the words while your friend is talking. You can predict the next word your friend is going to say. At that point, you are an AI. Because you have the context, and then before she finishes the next word she wants to say, you can actually finish it. That's being an AI. And this is what all AI does is to do that. So when it says that Dr. Banda was the president of Malawi, it doesn't mean it has the knowledge of its own. It doesn't connect the knowledge element of Malawi and Dr. Banda. What it does is that it looks at the data pattern on which it was trained. And it found that Dr. Banda was highly associated with President of Malawi. So it finishes that Dr. Banda was the president of Malawi. Not that it is intelligent, but it predicts the next word. It means, therefore, the final, don't worry about that one, just so you, tells you where we are. It means the final judge, therefore, of whatever you are doing using AI is you as a human being. Because you really have to verify the accuracy and literacy of the material that you're using. AI will just suggest the next best thing that could happen in your conversation. It has nothing to do about whether it is true or false. That one, it is your responsibility. So there are steps you have to do to use AI. So I will quickly just say, how does AI work? And these slides will be shared with you. You can go through them at your own time. The first thing is you have to have a problem. If define a problem, because AI is the technology to give you a solution. It's not a technical shoot it anywhere. So you really have to have a problem, and you have to decide whether AI is the best way to define your problem. And when you define your problem, you also have to define how do you know that AI has given you the correct answer. So the performance metrics of judging whether AI has done a good job is also your responsibility. Then you have to have data, collect data, and those of you who are in ICT or database management and so on, you agree with me that data is really ugly when it comes in. You really have to process it to put it in a position that AI can use. So you do the cleaning, you spread the data, you choose a technique of AI you want to use to solve your problem, and then you develop the solution, you configure it, you do the training so that it gets the intelligence. So those are step by step for you who want to build AI from scratch. Then you evaluate its performance, you fine tune it and optimize it so that it gives you the best answers, and you deploy the model, try to monitor whether it works. If it doesn't work, you come back and you restart that cycle. Okay, I want this number 8, which is very, very important. AI should do what we want it to do. It should respect our diversity. It should respect us as human beings, us as our values. We shouldn't be a slave of AI. AI as a technology, should help us to better our lives. So ethical considerations are very key. All the biases and the expected fairness, AI has to be aligned. And this is your responsibility to do that. So all those 8 steps can be just summarized by that table, that diagram there. It takes you through from problem to the final performance of the AI. So for most people, they feel like AI is just, like a machine. You put in data, you get the solution. No. AI is a little more complicated than that. And therefore, you as an organization, you have to build capacity within you to make sense of what exactly you want AI to do for you. If you can figure that out, you have a lot of improvement in your output as an organization. So AI requires investment, diligence, and a lot of commitment. Right, so here I'll just highlight some of the tools. Look at those, they are already available on the internet. You just download them and you can decide the AI that you want on your own. These are freely available. TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, Scikit-learn. All these are technologies available for you. Microsoft is providing you, IBM is providing you. All those are actually Amazon, and Amazon is available in South Africa. They have just opened their African sport in South Africa. Last December, we were there. Or if you don't want to start AI from scratch, you can use existing technologies like ChatGPT. There are quite a number of them. ChatGPT, Gemini, Bicc, Perplexity. Just play around with those. There are free versions and there are also paid up versions. Play with those and find the one that actually works for you in your organization. I should emphasize that there is no sector that has been spared from the impact of AI. So each of those will have advantages and disadvantages. It's important that you understand what they do. But the beautiful part is that most of those are closer to or more intelligent than an individual human being. So you'll benefit a lot engaging and utilizing those. The most important thing is, how do you talk to AI so that it gives you the best answer? So that's called prompt engineering. These are some of the tips for prompt engineering. The first one is you break out your prompt to AI in terms of task, context, reference, evaluation, and so on. Or if you don't want that, you can give AI a law. If you do that, you are guiding the machine to give you the best solution. Like this one is an example. I would like you to create a winning market strategy for coffee and so on. If if you look at that, it's actually the prompting type 2, where AI is given a task, a law, the context, the guidelines, and how do you want the output to be. And you get the solution, the best solution from that. I just have to end it in this several coming forward by warning you that the more you use AI, take care of your brain. Take care of your brain, especially for the young people, because AI can be a good friend or can be a bad friend. You can actually ask AI things that are prohibited, and you can trick it to give you the answers. So take care of your brain. This is a serious caution that I'm giving you. Otherwise, there are so many opportunities. All you have to do is understand what AI does and what are your responsibilities, and you get a lot of opportunities. Some of the things when you're using AI is to protect your data because AI is a public platform. So whatever you share with the AI is actually utilized by other people as well. So the moment you give your answer, it will use your answer to answer the next question from a different person. So when ChatGPT came out, it was really, really poor in Chichewa. But now it can write a beautiful song. I should have played the song that was written, a love song in Chichewa that was purely done by AI. Closer to or better than Lulu. I'm honest, those of you who, yeah. But as I said, whatever information you share with AI, it gets it. So it gets you your contact, your user content, your history, and every other information. So be very, very careful when you're sharing information with the AI. Please don't use your personal phones and personal emails when you're using organizational data. That's very risky. Remember, we have data protection law. So when you're using AI, please be conscious in the environment you are operating. And this law can be interpreted alongside other laws as well. Remember again, it is your responsibility to ensure accountability and the correctness or accuracy of the answers from AI. AI will give you anything that will please you. Actually, AI lies confidently. Have you seen people who can lie confidently? They look at your face, convince you that they are telling you the truth, and you believe it. Even if they love somebody else, they'll tell you, I love you, and you believe it. AI is good at that. It's good at that. So it will give you fictitious cases, citations, and other things that do not exist. It's up to you to actually check the accuracy. And therefore, it is important to know when and what can AI do. For cybersecurity, AI can automate a lot of things that are repetitive in your environment and a lot of things that are dealing with huge amount of data. So, for example, it can summarize large bodies of text. It can summarize emails and everything else. You can use that in your field as specialist. But also, it can help you do reverse engineering. In cybersecurity, do a lot of reverse engineering. So what the data you first with is generally accurate. In most cases, just binary data. How do you know the structure of the function or the source code that generated that data? Most of software people will never give you the source code. As a security person, you have to learn from the binary code that you're dealing with to discover what the code structure is like. So it can do function boundary, it can do signature generation and so on. Please, you can do it faster than you could. So I'll refer you to this article. It's by Penn State. Penn State is almost amongst the top cybersecurity labs. So it gives you the hands-on use cases and practicals. Please play around with it. You will learn a lot how you can employ AI. Remember, AI is a poor thing to use if you don't know what you're doing. So when you are doing research, only do use AI for research that you can verify whether what it is giving you is the truth. If you don't have that capability, please don't use AI. It will mislead you. There are so many cases where lawyers have used AI and they have been fired. They have been fired because they cited cases that never existed. It's not just lawyers, almost in every field. So use it when you are sure you can verify what it gives you. If you can do that, then AI will actually amplify your output 20 times or so. What AI cannot do, this is the bad part now. And this is where we want to break. AI cannot do common sense things. It cannot understand abstract things like love, hate. But I think that's fair, isn't it? Do those things really exist? Does love exist, for example? Where does it live in you? Is it in the heart or in the heart? Where does it live? Actually, most of you associate love with heart, but if we open that heart, it's just a pump of blood. There's no love anywhere. Where does it exist? When we reach a level where AI can build us emotion, I think that's the best thing that will happen to the world. So we could create anything that we want. AI cannot do quite a number of things, consciousness, some nuances that are in our languages. There are certain languages in Africa that do like. AI cannot do that. And I tell you now that if you have two friends, really close friends, ladies, and they are eating at the table, and you are walking in, they can tell 7-10 sentences by just looking at each other about you, laugh without releasing any single word. Those are nuances of communication that AI cannot do. We are trying hard to break through that. Eventually we hope that in the future we'll do. So understanding context, some nuances, and there are a lot of things that AI cannot do. I'll quickly just highlight some enablers of AI. What you want for you to utilize AI in Malawi, the first thing is the connectivity. We need CPU, we need internet, and thanks to Mark, I think Malawi is the best country now in terms of data costs. If I'm not wrong, we should be at number 1. That's. I know there are gentlemen as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's clap hands for Makra. It's not an easy thing. 2, we also have the Data Protection Act, and they have even produced a guide. Those are some of the contributions that have brought us out of 55 countries in Africa. Let's build on those. Let's give positive reduction where it's due. So we also need expertise. So that's where you are coming in. So when you go back to your school, tell them there's a certain doctor who has cheated us that we should love AI. Tell your teachers, because you really need to know AI. Because you can actually write whatever your teacher wants or they're thinking about. AI at the moment has the capability of taking in 1,500 pages of PDF at once. 1,500 pages of PDF at once, and make sense out of it. What it means that a standard paper, for example, is 10 pages. So you're talking of 150 papers at once. So if you was a student at a university, and my professor is Professor Banda, for example, I'll just scrape all the papers that Professor Banda wrote on the internet, and then instruct AI to write me a thesis that is in the language, in the tone, and in the thinking of Professor Banda. And I've submitted to him. Do you think I'll fail?
most of you people will be happy reading what you write. Even if it's garbage, you know your language and you think your language is the best. So I'll give the tone and the style of Professor Banda will give me 90% of pass. So you can do that to your teachers. Actually, if you're better at that, you'll be 10 or 20 times better than your teachers. But when you go back, remind your teachers also to do AI. All right. This is China instructing that AI should be taught in all schools from this September. Did you hear about it? Every student in China will be doing AI from this September. And that policy happened week 1. It only took 6 days, nearly 6 days, before USA reacted. USA said AI should be a must in every school in the US. Do you think these people are mad? No, they know what they're doing. And therefore policies are very important, deliberate policies that push us to adopt this, because Malawi cannot afford to remain behind. Organizational structures are very important. Luckily enough, Malawi Bureau of Standards is developing standards in the AI. I'm chairing one of their committees. So the environment is doing. MACA is doing a lot to enable us. Other organizations like Malawi Bureau of Standards also are doing a lot to enable us. So the environment is ready for you to utilize AI for the betterment of your future. At the continental level, I already highlighted those. All those are good instruments. Please get through some of those, understand what they're talking about. That one is our report. AI, there's my name there. So when I read it, I start from my name. So it's adopted by AU. Then there's also a strategy, and then a continental roadmap to the strategy is complementary to the strategy. Again, we're going to build it to those. This is the African Union strategy on AI. A lot of states in Africa has also produced AI strategies aligned to that one. I know there are efforts underground now that Malawi is pushing for the national strategy. One of them I think is coordinated by UNESCO, the other one is UNDP. I think we'll have a strategy soon for Malawi. So there is a SADC declaration, Malawi was party to that, and there's an African Union declaration, again, Malawi is party to that. So here it was Namibia, Malawi was represented by the former Minister of Education to make that declaration. So there are also organizations in Malawi. We have a center where in Mars, there's Gracia Lab at Mobas, and there are quite a number of grassroots players like NextGene, MHub, that are doing quite a number of technologies in AI. I want to invite you to align your AI to our vision. This vision will never be achieved without technology, and AI will be at the center of that vision. MACA is already doing great. We have already clapped for them. Let's help them to achieve what we want and what we want AI actually to do for us. This should be the last slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zuma. That was very interesting to listen to. Plenty, I'm sure, that we've learned. Yes? That was really good. Thank you so much for that. Now, from demystifying artificial intelligence and exploring the many emerging tech opportunities for youth, we now turn our focus to what happens, who responds as we look into inside a real cyber incident. So this presentation will be taken on by Ella Hamwaka from Malawi CERT and Wellington Chizakazi, and Wellington is from Malawi Police. So just a bit on Ella before she comes up. So our next speaker is a dynamic force in Malawi's cybersecurity landscape. Ella is an incident report officer at MACRA, serving as a key member of the National CERT, where she responds to and mitigates cyber threats that affect national systems. Now, she holds a master's in computer applications and a bachelor's in cyber security, both with distinction, and is a certified ethical hacker and AppSec practitioner with deep expertise in incident response, malware analysis, and threat detection. With over 6 years of hands-on experience, Ella has served in various technical roles, from Malawi Defense Force to e-government. Internationally, she's represented Malawi at the United Nations Open-Ended Working Group on Cybersecurity and is a mentor with her Cybertracks Fellowship. And she's also a child online protection trainer and Get Safe Online ambassador, empowering the youth, just like yourselves in this room, and women to stay safe in a digital space. So please welcome alongside Wellington, Miss Ella. A round of applause. She's still coming up. Let's keep clapping. You've got 20 minutes. Thank you.
Oh, we're going to do it.
Oh, you do it together? Fantastic.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we're all enjoying the sessions. Okay, that's great. So today we're just going to take you through what happens behind the scenes. I'm sure some of you have gotten to report your incidents to the MACRA office, and you don't know what exactly happened what happens behind the scenes. So with me today, I have a representative from the Malawi Police Cybercrimes Unit, Mr. Wellington Chidzakadzi. So I welcome you to this important session titled Inside a Real Cyber Incident, What Happens and Who Responds? We often hear about data breaches, hacks, and online fraud, but many don't fully understand what actually happens behind the scenes when a cyber incident occurs. Today, Wellington and I are going to help us unpack how cyber incidents are managed in Malawi, from technical containment to criminal investigations, and what lessons we can draw from real-life cases. So Wellington, I will just allow you to introduce yourself and explain to everybody what does your day-to-day work in the Cybercrimes Unit look like, and what drew you to specialize in cybercrime within the Malawi Police. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ella. As I've been introduced, I'm Wellington Jackson Chidzakadzi. I'm actually the head of the Digital Forensic and Cyber Crime Investigations Unit of the Malawi Police Service. Briefly, this is a branch or a department that is within the Malawi Police Service under the Criminal Investigation Department. We are specialized in digital, forensic, and cybercrime investigations. Going to the question that Ella has asked, what is our day-to-day like at Cyber Crime Investigations Unit? Maybe to begin with, we are operating under the mandate. I think the Constitution of Malawi, Section 152 and 153, gives the mandate to the Malawi Police Service powers and functions according to the Police Act on what we are supposed to do as a service or as a law enforcement organization. So the Cyber Crime Investigations Unit has a structure that covers the whole nation. So we are everywhere. We have police stations in all districts. We have got regional police stations in the regions. I'm coming from National Police Headquarters, where we have our headquarters for the Cybercrime Investigations Unit. So, in terms of our functions, we have a technical team and an investigation team. A technical team is a team of seasoned technical ICT experts who are police officers, police detectives that are hands-on in cases to do with digital forensic and cyber investigations. They are paired with investigators, seasoned investigators, that are there to make sure that complaints are received, information is analyzed. They can also stand in court to testify and give evidence for a case that the unit has investigated. The technical team also conducts online patrols. From what Dr. was making the presentation, we are also taking advantage of the growth of technology to make sure that we can also do some online patrols and check if there is an abuse in terms of the Malawian laws. So it is a unit which has just been established. You know, as Malawi Police Service, we are not in a vacuum. We are interacting with the environment, and if we don't change in terms of technology, it will mean for sure that the criminals will surpass us. So what made us to do what we are doing today, particularly as an institution, is to make sure that we take advantage of the technology that is there. Because as we are sitting here this afternoon, I will assure you that even criminals out there, they are sitting, making sure that they find strategies, how they can defraud us, how they can do whatever they want to do using the same technology. Personally, I believe that when there is change, we also need to make sure that we are changing. So I developed that passion from my 23 years experience in the Malawi Police Service to make sure that I also change and I contribute something towards cyber security as we are advancing as a nation. So that's what I can say in a nutshell. Ella.
Thank you so much, Wellington. So this is more of a conversation than a panel discussion. So I'll briefly take you through what Malawi Set is. How many of us have heard of Malawi Set? Can we raise our hands a little higher? Okay. It's okay if you're not aware of Malawi Set, so I'm going to educate you. So these conversations that we're having here are all to do with cybersecurity, but you don't know who's behind cybersecurity in Malawi. So we have what is known as the Malawi Computer Emergency Response Team, which is short for Malawi Set. It's a unit that was established under Section 6 of the Electronic Transactions and Cybersecurity Act of Malawi 2016 under MACRA. So it's not really a department, but more of a unit, just like the cyber crimes unit. So it is the focal point of all cybersecurity related issues in the country. We don't just serve people in power, we don't just serve organizations, we serve everybody. So there are times when we receive even cases of hacked accounts, mobile money fraud, but we usually escalate these issues to the Mobile Money Fraud Committee. There's a committee behind the scenes that works and handles these issues. So the Malawi CERT has some 5 main services, which include information security, event management. It's a bit technical, but I'm sure most ladies in here from today are going to join us on the technical side. Am I right? How many of us want to hack? Okay, so it's hacking you want. Okay, but there's a lot to do in cybersecurity apart from hacking, right? So we are the team that also makes sure that the public act. Imagine if your data of what you suffer from, that's why we're here, to make sure that those systems are kept up to date and they're kept secure. So we do incident response, as I said. Whenever an incident is reported to us, I'm an incident response officer, so I am one amongst the few that respond to you. So we also do penetration testing, which is pretty much hacking of systems, but for the purpose of finding issues to have them addressed accordingly by the organizations. So this one is only done upon request by the organization. And we also do situational awareness. So whatever is going on in the world, we always want people to be aware. So we always send information out to the public. I hope we're following the MACRA Facebook page, right? Yeah, you have to make sure you follow it, because now we're having information posted out there of things that you have to look out for. The attackers are getting very clever. So another thing that we do is knowledge transfer, more of capacity building. You know, we work with the Malawi Defense Force, the National Intelligence Service, and other officers, including the Malawi Police. So my role, finally, I am an incident response officer at the Malawi SED, MACRA, and I respond to incidents pretty much, but I do way beyond that. I know you got to hear that I've gotten to represent the nation at an international stage or level. So I respond, advise, mitigate risks, do penetration testing, raise awareness, everything cybersecurity. So you should be motivated to do the same. So now Wellington, over to you. Okay. At what stage does the Malawi Police Cyber Crimes Unit step in, and how do you work with Malawi SET to resolve incidents and combat cyber crimes?
Thank you very much. At what stage are we involved in cyber crime investigations? I'll start by mentioning that the law of the Cyber Crime Investigations Unit, I think, is in three folds. We do receive complaints direct from victims. We are also referred cases from a number of institutions. A good example is SET. We also receive, we are also referred cases from sister branches within the Malawi Police Service. I'll give you an example where Fiscal and Fraud Unit of the Malawi Police Service is investigating maybe a money laundering case. But in case of their investigation, they have come across information that involved the use of the internet and even mobile phones and computers. They will definitely need our team. They engage us to make sure that we help them during the recovery process of such equipment, because the law is very clear when it comes to presentation of such in our courts. So there will be a need of a specialist to work together with such officers to make sure that the case is thoroughly investigated and presented in the court of law. So that would be the second law of the unit, where we are referred cases apart from us receiving direct cases from victims. The other law of the unit is the actual digital forensic analysis that we do conduct, where we do examination of phones. I'll give you an example. If any of us has fallen a victim of cybercrime and your phone was used, we will require your phone using the law, because we won't force you to give us your phone. You are a witness to a case and the evidence is in your phone. Courts are courts of facts. They will want to see what exactly happened. So we really need your physical phone to do an extraction and do a digital forensic report and present that in court. But it's something that you do willingly, and also we do that within the law. But at the same time, we also refer cases, because I'm answering the question, at what stage are we involved? We also refer cases. When you look at the structure of SET, the structure of the Malawi Police Service, we reach an extent where we need the technical expert from SET. And this is now where the motto, together we can, is applied. We cannot stand alone. We need experts into that. Because SET, I think from what Era said, SET, you are talking about computer emergency response team. So they are specialists, they are experts. So you need them to work hand with us. When there is a case that we cannot handle, we need them to come in and help us handle the case. But when we go to mandates, they might not have the mandate to investigate that case and stand in court. They will definitely need the Malawi Police Service. So we do complement each other as SET. So those could be the laws, things that we are engaged in and the stages in which we are involved. But also knowing that we are countrywide, when a case has been reported at a station, a police station, we are alerted at HQ, at headquarters, to make sure that we start making follow-ups. So we are involved at almost that level and also the level where we can refer cases to our sister organizations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wellington. I hope we're listening. Are we listening? So you know who to reach out to when you have a cyber issue, right? And there's a problem. We have Malawi SET, and we also have the Malawi Police Service, the Cyber Crimes Unit. So I'm just going to walk you through what happens when you report an incident to Malawi SET. So the first thing we do is that we need somebody to report. So this is emphasis on reporting. In whatever you do, make sure you report whatever has happened to you. You're not going to hear whatever you've reported anywhere else. We always make an oath to keep whatever you share with us a secret. So we always assess and categorize the incident that you share with us, and we advise you accordingly, and also provide you with necessary recommendations. But in some cases, we're Okay, in some cases we're required to escalate the issues to the platform owners. How many of us have been scammed on Facebook or somebody attempted to scam us? Nobody? Well, you're shy. Okay, but in some cases like that where you report to us, we escalate the issue to the platform owners such as Facebook, be it WhatsApp, and we've had some cases of TikToks. I know some of you have reported, but don't worry, I won't tell anybody. So an example, if an account is hacked, we are able to help recover that. And sometimes we've had cases where an organization has been hacked as well. So we most times rush on site and work together with the IT specialists, the cyber security specialists on site to make sure that they recover their systems, their information, and as well as secure their systems. So if there is a need for investigation, that's where we always work together with the Malawi Police Service, as already stated by Wellington, because we have no mandate to investigate. So over to you, Wellington. Could you share an example without revealing sensitive data or details of a real incident that both of our institutions handled together and the lessons learned?
Thank you very much. I will not share much details because you have really said that without sharing sensitive information. But I think we had a case where both us as the Cybercrime Investigations Unit, SET and Interpol worked together. I think there was a case where a boy between the age of 12 and 16 was exposed to some crimes, I think online. It was actually sextortion. What happened was somebody posed as a woman trying to talk to a boy, and they start dating online. Hello? Hello? So they started dating online, but the boy never knew the true identity of this woman. So the woman kept on downloading some videos, some photos, sending to the young boy, pretending it was the little woman. It was her, but those were online pictures. And the boy was convinced. He also started sending his pictures in return. Hello? Because that would be my very last point, to warn and to say, please be cautious online. So he ended up sending a lot of pictures, and at the end of the day, the fake woman started asking for money to say, if you don't give me like 500,000 Malawi kwacha, I will expose you online. He was a secondary school boy. He couldn't get 500,000. He kept this for himself, but you know the results. It's like things were not working for him, to the extent that he started looking for ways on how he can raise 500,000 so that his pictures were not leaked on social media. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. He managed to report that to the elders who helped them to bring the case to SET, and SET, looking at the sensitivity of the case and that it really required an investigation, they referred it back to the Malawi Police Service. We worked together with Interpol, and finally the suspect, because he was not in Malawi, he was in a foreign country, was arrested. Just brief like that, but there's quite a lot of cases that SET and Malawi Police Service and Interpol, we are working together. My advice is be cautious online. Don't just believe any other information that you get online. Avoid clicking on links that you don't even know where they're coming from, because this is how they will get your information and make sure that you are exposed at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So just to conclude this discussion, I want to tell you the ways on which you can report. So I'll cover the reporting mechanisms or platforms for both Malawi CERT and the Malawi Cybercrimes Unit. Are we listening?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So under MACRA, we have the toll-free line, which is 261. So you don't have to have airtime for this one. If you think there's a cyber threat, cyber bullying, cyber harassment, mobile money fraud, whatever it is, your account has been hacked, or maybe the organization you worked for, there's something sketchy, you can always call 261, which is the MACRA toll-free line. Another way, have we taken note of that one? Okay, another way that you can report to Malawi CERT is by writing an email. I hope we all know how to write emails. Yes, if you don't, you have to learn, because now we're women in tech, right? So you write an email to reporting, that's REPORTING, reporting at mwcert.mw. We got it? Reporting at mwcert.mw. So that's an email for reporting for under the Malawi CERT. Another way that you can report is by visiting our platform directly. So we have a website. So you can go to www.mwcert.mw. www.mwcert.mw. So that's on Malawi CERT, right? And as Wellington already shared, to say, if you want to report an incident, especially one that requires investigation, because we do not have the mandate to investigate, then you can always visit the nearest police station to you. So you do not have to exactly always travel to the headquarters. Another way that you can report to them is by writing another email, okay? So you write to cyber. We know how to spell cyber, right? So it's cybercrime, no space, cybercrime at police.gov.mw. So it's cybercrime at police.gov.mw. Otherwise, thank you so much for having us. I hope you have taken note of all of this. We're around. You can always ask us questions.
Some mentorship is also important, so you never know who you're gonna meet through networking. I encourage you to continue networking and meeting new people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for taking us behind the scenes, giving us an idea of what happens inside real cyber incidents, and also the warnings that we've gotten there from the police through Wellington. Thank you so very much for that. Now, as we mentioned, Wellington also works around Interpol, yes? And we do have another person coming on now to give us a presentation on Interpol policing capabilities for a safer and secure world for women, girls, and children from cyber crimes. And then when that's done, we're going to jump into our breakaway groups. But I really want for us to pay special attention as we have Hanania coming up to present on this issue, especially considering that cybercrime doesn't stop just within our borders, but it is also international. Some people get attacks from people that are living elsewhere. And I wonder, were you able to catch the person that you were speaking on here that committed the crime? But you were able to help the young man, yes? The person that was committing the crime, were you able to identify them? And they were within the country? So it is possible that help can be on its way, yeah? So now we want to look at it coming in from the Interpol policing, their capabilities, as we've seen a little bit on that from the presentation that we just had earlier. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome up to the front Hanania as she comes on up to present on Interpol policing capabilities. Another round of applause. Hanania here? No? Okay. In the interest of time, we will now go into our breakaway sessions. If anything changes, we'll probably have an opportunity to hear from Hanania a bit later. So I'm just going to read out a couple of names, especially for the schools that will head out to the breakaway session in the next room, which is Mbidzi. So we've got two groups, and this is what's going to happen in the next hour or so. So we'll have a breakaway session. This is a girls only hygiene and grooming session, which includes hygiene hamper distribution. Yay. And this will be by Matilda Capito and Maesero Maloya, who are going to be taking this session in Bicc. For those that are going to Bicc, that would be Unima, Unilia, MUST, Lilongwe Technical College, De Young University, UNICAF, Lilongwe Girls, Bambino, MCA, Mzuni, MUBAS, NASIT, Catholic Uni, Exploits, Luana, Likuni Girls, Lamau, Magu, Midge, and MCA. No, actually Midge stays in here, but MCA will head off to Bicc for the breakaway session. So if your school was mentioned, you're expected in Bicc for the breakaway session. And those that will stay in the main hall will be looking at a presentation on her data, her power, navigating the Data Protection Act 2024 and international privacy frameworks, and that will be by Tamanda Kamundi, Data Protection Authority. So let's now move into the breakaway sessions. Those that are going next door to Bicc, please head off to Bicc. We're looking at preparing everyone for the workforce, and all of this hygiene stuff actually matters when you get a job, because your boss doesn't want you to be all weird and strange in how you look and how you are presenting yourself. So that will be so helpful, and I'm sure it's going to be key. So those names, those that go to the names of the unis and schools that were mentioned, please make your way out to Bicc. I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time. You'll actually be there till 5 p.m. So this means we'll probably see each other again tomorrow. And for the rest, let's fill in these seats that are in the front. Those that are sitting in the back, there's actually room that's been made available for you now as the others are leaving. So please make your way up to the front. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Atigana, Azimai, Palimalo, Kutsogolo, please come up. Let's fill these seats that are in the front. There's more room in the front seats here. Please come up. We don't want our speaker to feel so alone. So if you could fill these seats, that would be great. Okay, fantastic. We now get into our presentation. Her data, her power, navigating the Data Protection Act 2024 and Interpol Privacy Frameworks by Tamanda Kamundi from Data Protection Authority, DPA. Please welcome Tamanda. She comes on up to give us this presentation. A round of applause.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tamanda Kamundi, and I'm a Data Protection Enforcement Officer with the Data Protection Authority, which is MAGRA. So I'm a lawyer by profession, and looking back, I never knew that I would join the cyberspace, but this was an opportunity that was presented to me, and I hope by the end of this presentation, you'll be motivated to join the data protection ecosystem. Just waiting for the presentation. So before it starts beaming, how many of us know what personal data is? What is your personal data? Okay, so when we're talking about personal data, we're talking about anything that is going to directly link you or define you as a person. So that is your name, your account number, your phone number, your online identifiers, even your bank statements, even your WhatsApp messages. Those are your personal data. So last year in 2024, the Data Protection Act came into force. So it came into force for two reasons. The first one is that it gave control to us as individuals over our personal information. So you know, for so long, you've been going to, let's say, different businesses or organizations seeking their services, and you had to give in your name, your phone number, your email address, but do we really know what they do with that information and how are they safeguarding it? So the Act came into force to give us rights as individuals so that we can know what happens and have control over our personal data. And for those organizations and businesses, the Act holds them accountable on how they should handle their personal data. So essentially, that is what the Data Protection Act provides for. So apart from that, it designated MAGRA as the Data Protection Authority. So yes, we have an authority within an authority. So just as an inspiration, I was the first employee under the Data Protection Authority. And for now, I'm the only female. So that should inspire you that there are a lot of opportunities out there. We don't have a lot of data protection officers in the country. So you should also look out, because the Act mandates the organizations and businesses to have data protection officers. So this means that there will be a lot of vacancies coming out looking for data protection officers. So that's a space that you'd want to join. Okay. So as I defined what personal data is, you can see that in today's world, we've gone digital, and for you to access most of the applications and services, that means you give out your information, and you should know that your data is your power. Remember, the Act came into force to give us control, to give us autonomy, to have that power over our personal data. So that's how serious it is in regards protecting our personal data. So when we're talking about issues of data protection, under the Act, you find that it provides for the rights of data subjects. So this means that as women and girls, we have the right to access our information, we have the right to rectify our information, to say, let's say, your date of birth was incorrectly put, or your name was incorrectly spelled. You have the right to go to those organizations holding your information to say, I would like you to rectify this. And that should be done free of charge, unless there's another law that is providing that you have to pay for that service. But otherwise, the Data Protection Act gives you that right. So someone shouldn't say, oh, we can't do that for you. As long as there is, let's say, a legal backing against that, then you actually have that right. So apart from that, the Data Protection Act provides that when the companies and businesses are collecting your information, they should tell you why they're collecting it and what they're going to use it for. So this is for the principle of data protection that we call purpose limitation. So this means that once they tell you why they're going to use your personal information or personal data, they should not use it for something else. So for example, you go to a certain clinic and then they get your health information. They shouldn't sell that information to any marketing agency. The same as if, let's say, you go to a conference like this one. So they tell you that even when you were registering, there was a part that some were given the virtual option to say this will be broadcasted, let's say, on Facebook or YouTube. So by you coming to the conference, it means that you have consented to having your personal information being viewed on these platforms. So you can see how the Data Protection Act is giving us power over our data. So you actually have that right to say, okay, I don't want you to have access to my information, or I don't want you to process my personal information. So that's why we're saying her data, her rights. Because if you're not aware of these rights, if you're not aware of the Data Protection Act, you find that most people are going to end up abusing your personal data and you don't even see anything wrong with it. Or let's say you see something wrong but you don't know where to report it. So on the part of reporting, the Act provides that you have a right to report with the Data Protection Authority. So if you feel like your data is being mishandled or you feel like there's a data breach, then you can report to the Data Protection Authority. And you can do this on our website, which is www.dpa.mw. So there's an option there where you can lodge a complaint, and you can do this within 72 hours of being aware of that data breach. And also, you can report to the companies and organizations that are mishandling your data to say, I don't like the way you're handling my data, or you collected my data for X reason, but I've noticed that you're using it for Y reason. So they have an obligation from the Act to now report to the authority that we received this complaint, so that the authority also investigates and enforces on the findings of that investigation. So I'll give you an example to see how issues of personal data are not just it's not just that Margaret just woke up one day and say, oh, let's protect personal data. So how many of us know about the period tracker application that is called Flow? Or how many use Flow? Okay. Were you aware that there was a data breach? Okay. So that is an example of a personal data breach, to say that issues of data protection are serious. And when you look at the Data Protection Act, in Section 2 of the Data Protection Act, there's a part where it gives definitions, and it provides for sensitive data. And you see that your health information is regarded as sensitive data. So you should know that the Data Protection Act aligns with international law, the General Data Protection Regulations, called the GDPR. So that means even under the GDPR, even under international law, health data is regarded as sensitive information. So that breach by Flow was a serious data breach because it was containing sensitive information. So think of it this way, to say, I think Ella gave an example to say, how would you feel if, let's say you went to a clinic and they provided their services there, you provided your information, and then that gets leaked. So there are some things that we go to the hospital for, and we don't want them to be out there like that. Or how would you feel if your WhatsApp chat with your best friend got leaked? So you can see how issues of personal data are important. And you should know that your pictures, your videos, those are sensitive, those are personal information as well. So that means no one can just take a picture of you and post it somewhere. They should get your consent. So what the Data Protection Act provides for is that the companies and businesses. Okay, so my presentation is up, but I feel like I've presented most of the things. So what those companies and businesses are obligated to do is that they should have a legal basis for handling your personal data. So one of the legal bases is that they should obtain your consent. So no one can just take a picture of you and post it somewhere and use it for whatever purpose they want to without getting your consent. But there are other cases whereby if you're a party to a contract, they can process your personal information. If it's for a legal obligation, they can process your personal information. Maybe you can leave on the slide on how to protect your personal data, the previous one. Yes, okay. So how do you safeguard your personal data? So the first one is that you should understand your rights. You should understand what the Data Protection Act is providing for. To say what rights do you have and what obligations do those that are handling your personal data, what obligations do they have? The other one is that you should use strong passwords, okay? So it could be on your phone, it could be on your WhatsApp as well, and you could also use, let's say, multi-factor authentication as a way of safeguarding your personal data. Because, let's say, for example, in your phone, you have a lot of information stored there. So you have your, let's say, your floor in there. You have, some have mini diaries in their phone, a lot of information that us women, especially women and girls, keep in our phones that would be regarded as sensitive, and that would be used against us. Okay, the other one is that you should limit sharing of your personal information. So I'll give an example of how we put our profiles up on Facebook. So I'll put my name, my date of birth. Some even list their siblings. If you're married, you even list your spouse. Everything is there. And it's so easy for someone to go on Facebook and get all that information and impersonate you because you've given out your information like that. And even, let's say, for example, if someone sends you money, you take a screenshot and then you repost it on your status. It's either your account number or that person's account number is there. And someone is slowly taking down all that information. And how is this going to affect you? It could affect you in a way, let's say you could face financial loss if they go to the bank and impersonate you, or reputational damage if your chat with your best friend gets leaked and now everyone knows your business. So be cautious of what you share. And the other one is that you should stay updated. As the Data Protection Authority, and also as MACRA, we have the Malawi CERT, we have different conferences, and not just the Women and Girls in Cyber. So you can also be following that. You can be following on our social media pages to see, because we have sections where we'll be telling you tips on how to safeguard your personal information, or alerting you to say, okay, these are some of the ways that you can safeguard your personal information. So you should stay updated. As parents and guardians, we give our children phones, a lot of technological advancements nowadays that they have access to the internet. How can you ensure that their personal data is being protected? So one of them is that you can monitor their online activities. You can also educate them about privacy to say some things don't have to be shared with the world. You don't have to share everything with the public. That's personal. Because if you don't have power over your personal data, you make yourself vulnerable to a lot of things. So you could face online abuse, to say, let's say, harassment, and some have exes who be stalking you and actually use the things that you've posted against you. So I should also mention your location is also personal data. So sometimes you don't always have to turn on your location. Your location shouldn't always be on your phone. You don't know who's tracking you. You can turn it on if, let's say, you need it for something. Let's say if you're sharing your location with someone, that you're going somewhere, that's when you can turn on your location. It doesn't always have to be on. Next slide. So I said there are a lot of opportunities for women in data protection. Firstly, you can be a data protection officer like me. The other one is that you can be a legal advisor in data privacy, or you can be an information security officer or data privacy trainer. So a lot of opportunities for you to enter into the data protection space. So it's not just about you, you also have to help others to know their rights. So what are the roles of MACRA as the Data Protection Authority? So what we do is that according to the Data Protection Act, we have roles to regulate, to see and tell people how they should handle personal information, to educate the public on their personal data protection rights, and also to enforce if, let's say, for example, you lodge a complaint, we investigate, and then we enforce on the findings. So remember, if you face a data breach, report to the authority. And if it's a parent, parent or legal guardian, you can lodge a complaint on behalf of a minor. And remember, the authority has the mandate to investigate your data breaches and enforce on the findings. So that's the end of my presentation. After you've learned about your personal data and how it is important for you to safeguard your personal information, and that others should also learn to safeguard their personal information, because that is your power. You have the power, you have the control to say, this is what you can do with my personal data, and this is what you should not do with my personal data. Thank you.
So I'll open the floor for maybe a couple of questions or comments, if any. Does anyone have a question? This is your opportunity. Okay, there's one in the back there. And it's a man. A round of applause for one of the few that have joined us. Intro yourself, please, and ask your question.
Hi, everyone. My name is Horace Chibembele. I have a question. I wanted to understand what penalties do exist for people or companies who misuse personal data. Thank you.
Is there another question, or would you like to take it already?
I can take it.
Okay.
So under the Act, the penalties as far as about 50 million to the companies that misuse or mishandle personal data. But some of the penalties are that since the authority just came in place, so we're kind of being lenient. So what we do is more of to say a mediation, like you just bring the parties together and then they talk it out and see how best they can rectify the situation. It could be a scenario where they just need to take down what they've posted on that person or give out an apology as well. But as far as the penalties that they're supposed to pay, it goes as far as about 50 million. Yeah.
Good question. Thank you for your response. Any other questions? Okay. Hello. Intro yourself and ask your question.
So my name is Pat Somware. I work with MDF as IT assistant. So my question is, there are some organization whereby the data is being handled with the people who are not in technical, who are not aware of the cybersecurity. For example, the HRs. So they not have a technical part whereby they can be like they have the full potential that I can protect the data. So if the data like it has been exposed, so how can such organization can handle such data if the data is being handled with the person who is not much into cybersecurity?
Good question. There was another hand here. That was yours. Okay, I'll be right there with you.
My name is Yamigani Gafunya, and I'm a student at Don Bosco Technical College. Well, she talked about creating strong passwords to help data protection, but I heard that IT experts are able to crack down all passwords that every person can create. So how do you go about that situation?
Thank you. Would you like to take these two first?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, let me just, she can ask her question.
Okay.
And then I can talk.
Hi again, everyone. Angela speaking here. So I just wanted to understand from your perspective, what are some of the challenges that have been posing as a hindrance to compliance? So what are organizations struggling with to comply with the Data Protection Act itself? Thanks.
Thank you. So I'll start with the first question. So in terms of, let's say if it's just HR handling the personal data and they don't have an IT expert or anyone in cybersecurity, that's why we advise that they have to report every data breach to the Data Protection Authority. So in that case, as the Data Protection Authority, help them on how to mitigate the issue and also how to resolve the issue altogether. So as I said, it's a new thing and the authority just came into place. So for now, what we're doing is that we are helping the organizations and businesses to learn and to know what they're supposed to do in terms of complying with the Data Protection Act. So as now the main challenge is lack of awareness. So we're hoping that once these, because we're holding different conferences, trainings on how best they can handle personal data and comply with the Data Protection Act. And then we've given them about 6 months, hoping they will comply. And from then we can see what some of the challenges will be. So it's not just lack of awareness of organization, but also the people who are supposed to help. So I should mention that the data protection officer is there to oversee and also to teach the staff members of that company on how best they can comply with data protection. So if the data protection officer is not really aware of the things that they're supposed to do, then that's a problem altogether, because how is the company going to comply? So for now, it's the lack of awareness part, and that's how we're dealing with it.
Question on passwords.
Okay, question on passwords. So on your part, as an individual, what you need to do is put strong passwords. Yes, there are people who can, let's say, still crack those passwords and have access to your information. You should know that that is going to be considered as a data breach, and that is considered as hacking because they have unauthorized access to your data. They have unauthorized access, let's say, to your phone. So in that case, then you should report that to say, I have been hacked or there's a data breach, because you did not authorize them to access your information. But on your part, you should put a strong password, and also you should keep updating your password. Don't just, let's say you had your password from, let's say, 2008, and now that's the same password you use, and you use it for everything. Then it's going to be easy. It's going to make you vulnerable to be hacked. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the back here? Any questions? Any comments? I'm casting my eyes. I don't want to go back up there. Anyone? No? Okay. Fantastic. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a huge round of applause. Thank you very much for such a practical presentation. I'm sure we've all walked away with something that we can put into play right away. And I think she's looking for other female workmates. That's why she's bringing up the issue that loads of vacancies will be coming out. So please apply, because she needs other girls at work with her as well. Well, we continue on with our afternoon, and we're actually heading into the last session, unless otherwise we end up having Hanania back on. But this is our last one for today. So we're going to get into a panel discussion. This is Cyber Sisterhood, Shaping the Next Generation of Tech Leaders. This is exciting, and pretty much what our gathering together for these next few days here at the conference is about. So bringing in and shaping the next generation of tech leaders. The moderator for this panel discussion is Agatha White. So please welcome Agatha with a warm round of applause as she comes up to introduce her panelists and to take us on this journey. Hello and welcome.
Hello everyone. It's good to see you, and it's good to be here. So as mentioned, this is the panel discussion on cyber sisterhood. So I'll just begin by calling on the panelists. So firstly, we have Constance Chongwe. She's an ICT analyst, Malawi government cert. Can you hear me? Okay. Cybersecurity strategist and digital governance ICT policy analyst. So Constance, can you please come up? Secondly, we have Wezi Salima. She's a development economist and lead of ICT Research and Innovation Fund, a team lead at MACRA, and part of the Generation Connect Africa Youth Envoy. Wezi, can you please come up? And then we have Gertrude Nsaku. She's a cybersecurity professional, an SOC analyst with multiple certifications, and part of the Cyber Girls. Gertrude, you can come up. Lastly, we have Sarah Kaliembe. She's a cybersecurity specialist at MDF. Please come up, Sarah. All right, welcome. It's good to see you all here. I'm sure everybody is excited for this chat. We'll be talking about cyber sisterhood, shaping the next generation of tech leaders. So firstly, when we speak about sisterhood, for me, the first words that come to my mind are unity, support, empowerment, connection, uplifting, mentoring, learning, etc. Right? So there's so many things, and this is a great discussion for us to have here at the Women in Cyber conference. So without further ado, let's begin our chat. So firstly, my first question will be for Constance. In spaces where women are still a minority, how do you build sisterhood rather than competition?
Thank you so much, Agatha, for that question, and pretty excited to be here again. Just to appreciate Makra for this opportunity again to be up on this stage, second year running. Now back to your question. There's two words in that question. We have sisterhood and there is competition, right? These are words that are far from each other, right? When I think of sisterhood, you have mentioned a couple of words that try to define sisterhood, but we're also talking about abundance, right? And when we're looking at competition, we're looking at scarcity. It comes in sometimes because of scarcity. So firstly, myself, working in a space that is male-dominated, I try to operate, like I've said, the word abundance, right? Yeah, so I try to operate from a mindset of abundance, when not scarcity. When you're working in a mindset of abundance, you get to try to understand that there is room for all of us to thrive. There is no need to compete. We all have room to thrive. Secondly, I tried to prioritize mentorship. I was pulled up by a woman, God rest her soul. She would give me all of the opportunities. Of course, firstly, because I showed interest. I was there showing up. She mentored me and gave me opportunities that I wouldn't have even imagined starting off as a person that's just started her career would have those types of opportunities. Then why can't I also share the same space for the generation that is also behind me, that is also trying to come up? So I do try to prioritize mentorship as much as I can. The third thing, I know this is something that is a bit difficult for most people to do. It's easier to do it the other way around. I try to amplify women in rooms that they're not in. If you're in a room that is male-dominated and you're the only lady, they're trying to present an opportunity to say, we have this. Who do you believe can do this? Try to mention the women. Yes, of course, you're not just saying, oh, let me just mention a woman for the sake of, oh, let me just mention a woman. Try to mention women that are able to do the work, that have potential to do the work. We have to try to amplify other women in the spaces that they're not in the rooms that they're not in. And lastly, I try to root my, my support in faith and purpose. If you're a believer, then you know what's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. It's never going to be mine. And this mindset, I believe, has put me in a space of, it's kept me grounded enough to celebrate other people's wins. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Constance. Thank you. And I hope that everybody has taken some advice there, particularly in abundance, and what's yours is yours. I would also like to ask this question to Sarah. So the question, let me just repeat it. In spaces where women are still a minority, how do you build sisterhood rather than competition?
Thank you so much. To me, building sisterhood, you need faith to start believing that another woman's success doesn't take away your own success. For everyone has her own time. I believe in celebrating every woman's achievements. For I know that if a woman has achieved something, it means she has broken the barrier for all of us. Mentorship and peer support is a key. We all need to be there for one another. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that answer. Thank you. For the next question, I'll ask you, Wezi. From where you are now, what would you say to other young women who are holding back, who are waiting to feel ready before stepping into opportunities in tech?
Thank you for your question. I love responding to this question by looking at how I've been brought up to this journey. As you stated, I'm a development economist by profession. So my field is numbers, graphs, entertaining. Somehow, somewhere, I found myself in the space of digital innovation. This was mainly because of, I saw an opportunity and I grabbed it with both hands. It was not easy, and I need to let everyone know it's not easy. You're going to find yourself in multiple rooms whereby all you're seeing is men, all you're seeing are older people. So I was quite a minority, young and female, which is very rare to find in these big rooms. So what I would like to emphasize to everyone is give yourself a chance, pat yourself on the back once in a while, and let yourself know that you can do it. Just because you haven't seen anyone do it before, because personally, I don't think I've seen an economist that's jumped into the tech field the way that I have. It's something you can do. You could be the trailblazer of that type of opportunity you're looking into. So what I want to emphasize is that let's just give ourselves a chance, try and network where you can, and whenever you see an opportunity, do your best to push for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezi. For all the young people in the room, you might be in school, or you're getting into tech, or you're trying to figure things out. Take that chance on yourself, as Wezi has said. The next question is to Gertrude. Your question is, how do we ensure that cyber sisterhood includes all women across backgrounds, regions, and access levels?
Okay, first of all, we need to recognize the gaps that exist between different communities, because not every girl out there has access to technology. Not everyone has a laptop or access to Wi-Fi, and not everyone has access to mentorship or people that are there to guide her. So once we understand that, we're able to know where we're going to start in order to help other girls, especially in underserved areas. So that means we have to start by creating a space whereby women can be able to share their experiences, their stories, and perspectives without feeling judged. And another thing is we need to start by ensuring that almost all the girls, even in rural areas, have access to free training. Like in the morning session, I heard someone mention that we can provide training through radio programs, which can be helpful to those, especially in rural areas, if they don't have access to laptops or even Wi-Fi. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your lovely answers. You have all gone through the tech industry. You're still going through the tech industry, and it's not easy, but having this discussion here is very important to everybody, I think, on the panel and also in the crowd and everybody who's watching online. So let's move on to our next question, which is centered upon building a movement and not just a network. So I will start with Sarah. Sarah, you've worked with both Malawi CERT and MDF, showing how important cyber skills are even in national security. What lessons have you learned from these experiences, and how can young women be encouraged to take up roles in such critical areas?
Thank you so much. Working with both Malawi CERT and Malawi Defense Force has been an eye-opening to me and the most meaningful one, because it has shown me that cybersecurity goes far beyond just systems, networks, and computers, but it's about safeguarding the safety, the stability, and the sovereignty of our nation. Whilst working with Macra, I learned how important it is to work in a team when dealing with cybersecurity issues. I have seen how critical it is during instant coordination, public awareness, even during technical resilience. Whilst working with Malawi Defense Force, it has helped me on how to protect critical information. And to everyone out there who is willing to join this critical environment, it's possible. First, we need to change the mindset that military roles and cybersecurity roles are only for men, or perhaps for people who are smart with computers. No, it's not like that. Every woman is eligible for these spaces. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. You speak about resilience, and that's also part of the theme for today. So building a stronger and resilient cyber ecosystem in Malawi. And thank you for sharing the process that you've gone through. It's really helpful. And as we noticed from the statistics mentioned earlier on in the day, there are only 22% of women in the cybersecurity space globally. So that's very important that cybersecurity, military space is not just for men. There's space for women too. Our next question is to Gertrude. What excites you most about the future of women in cyber, and where do you see yourself creating impact within the space?
Right. What's more exciting now is that even though only a small percentage of women make up the cybersecurity space, nowadays we're seeing a lot of women in leadership roles in cybersecurity. We see a lot of women influencing decisions and shaping how the cybersecurity workspace looks like. And that is even more inspiring because the next generation has more role models to look up to than the ones that came before us. And that is very nice because it means it will inspire them that they can also do it just like the role models that they look up to. And I see myself creating an impact in mentoring and helping in creating opportunities for other young girls that are coming, especially the ones that are coming from areas that do not have access to like internet or other opportunities that people in cities have. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Gertrude. That's very important, what you've spoken about, and it's good to see that you also have a very bright vision for all the young minds in this room. And next, I will ask Wezi, how do you ensure that your support for tech talent includes those from underserved or rural communities where innovation may look different but just as powerful?
Thank you for your question. So through the Mooney Fund, which is the innovation fund you had stated earlier, we put out a call for applications. And what we purposely did was we didn't just market it to those that have devices. We also made a mass message under the USSD, whereby if you have an Airtel number or a TNM number in Malawi, you were reaching that message that was asking you to share with us your innovations. It was not only in English, it was also translated in local languages. Aside from that, we had a call of applications that was broadcasted on TV and on the radios as well, and we partnered with the local councils whereby they assisted us with district officers in each district in Malawi, whereby if someone heard about this fund, they were able to go to the district officer's office and ask what more, how they can apply to the fund. So what we're trying to do with this fund is that we're not only opening it up to those that are in our schools, those that have access to these devices, but then we also want those that may not, because you end up finding that the bigger impact is being made in a smaller community than one being made in the cities. Thank you.
Thank you for that. This just goes to show that opportunities are there, and there are open opportunities. Don't be scared to take that chance. And let's move on to Constance. What's one lesson you had to learn the hard way that you now intentionally pass on to other women?
Thank you very much for that question. One lesson that I have learned is that being good at your job is not enough. Starting off, I would, do my work, fulfill my deliverables and, sit back. Sometimes your work does speak for you, but when you're in a space that is male-dominated, you have to speak for yourself. I mean, yes, you've got the degree. Okay, then what? She has a degree, he has a degree, they have a degree. A lot of people have degrees. What makes you special? So being good at your job, it is not enough. You have to stand up, you have to speak up for yourself, and you have to advocate for yourself. You have to own the room. I could tell you right now, it's not a lot of people. Maybe there might be a lot of people that know or have worked in the government before, but the responsibility that I currently have is not the type of responsibility that can just be given under normal circumstances, that anyone coming up can get this. So you have to stand up and you have to speak up. You have to own the room. If it's just you in the room with men, they're gonna have no choice but to listen to you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Constance. So to every person in here who thinks that just because they're young, just because you're a woman or a girl, you've just come out of school and there's nothing much you can do, you can, as Constance has said. And as they say, speak up. If you need something, speak up. So thank you. And right now we're getting to the end of our session. Before we close, I would like each participant to conclude. I'll give you a minute. So let's start with Wezi.
Thank you. In closing, what I would recommend to us all is that let's try. The biggest thing one can do for themselves is to try, because you don't know how far that can get you. And given the theme of sisterhood, it's important to find people around you that will help you. I have a mentor of mine that told me that what you can do for yourself is you find someone that's ahead of you and someone that's behind you, and you're holding hands together. This is because the person ahead of you is directing you, and the person behind you is being led by you. So that union of people around you, you'll be well equipped for the future. I'll give you an example. In Mark, I am looking at innovation. You have Ella that's looking at cybersecurity. You have Tamanda that's looking at data protection. We normally consult with one another if there's issues that are dealing with that specific area that one's looking at. So we're not only working in individuality, but then we're working in unison. We're able to help each other, we're able to guide each other, and that's all that was needed in this space. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Gertrude?
Okay, one thing that I'll say is to every girl out there, don't wait until you're ready to try. Start now, because the cybersecurity field is a field that is constantly evolving, and if you wait until you feel ready to start, it means you'll be left behind. So start where you are with what you have, and opportunities will follow you. And stay curious, ask questions wherever you don't understand, because right now we have a lot of people that can help you. So thank you.
Thank you. Constance?
All right, just to close off, I'm gonna just add on to Wezi's conclusion. She did mention something about trying. I did note in the morning we had a presentation from Titi who sort of gave us an encouragement and also mentioned how she applied for a role, the role that she's currently serving. She applied for a role that most people didn't even think that she was fit for that role. So just like Wezi said, try. You apply for the roles, you take up that space. Apply for the role even if you're not qualified. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sarah?
Thank you. My message goes to all the women and girls who are holding back to join this tech. Trust me, you are missing a lot. This is your home. You belong to tech. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there are a lot of key things that we can take away from this session, and I hope that you all thoroughly enjoyed this session. I'm hoping that everybody can get in touch with you, if that's possible, possibly on LinkedIn. Yeah, so feel free to do so. That marks the end of our session. Thank you so much, everyone.
For the panelists, for our moderator as well. Well done, and thank you. Tech is your home. You belong here. That's what was said there at the end. And also, a quick reminder that there's 3.8 million jobs are waiting. So, we're not in a position where we're going to say, especially when we can actually work online. So I'm very excited that today we actually did come together, that we started day one off well, yes? Have we walked away with something, anything today? Yeah, I have to, and I'm so inspired and ready to take on day 2 tomorrow. Did anyone head out to the Airtel gazebo? Sumufuna mama these are free, ne? Make your way, go tell your story. I'm sure you have a story. And did anyone at least post and tag. A few. Oh, okay. Can we post before we head out? I mean, you could even take a picture of me. I mean, anything. The stage, the person sitting next to you. Post something and let everyone know that we're here. Oh, there's some gift bags coming out. Okay, now you have something to post, yeah? So that's something that you get to post on that, but just share, post, you could win something, but also just so that we encourage those that are outside these four walls to know that there's great opportunity for them, and that there's opportunity for them to not just be online, but to participate, outside participation, to contribute. Yes, we're not just about participating, but we are also looking to contribute. So that was day one of Women and Girls in Cyber Conference, our third edition. How exciting! A round of applause for third edition. Man, and of course earlier we did hear from, but let's make this one count. You are here for a reason, you're definitely in the right place, and it's going to be a fantastic 2 days ahead of us outside this third one, which was our first. So today was all about empower, I'm sure inspire, even though I know a lot of you are also very much inspired today. So tomorrow we'll be back in this room by 8 a.m. So let's be up bright and early, coming back out to start our sessions, which will include breakaway sessions as well, and panel discussions. Will have more presentations, and these will also be some that will really leaning into making sure that you've walked away with inspiration as well. So learning the skills, speaking the language. Tomorrow, learning the skills, speaking the language, and of course, inspire. On that note, we have come to the end of day one, and we're going to head out for our tea, and when we get the tea, we can chat and grab those pictures, do the stories, and then maybe also connect with those people that were speaking, and you may have had a question. This could be the time for you to do that. So let me tell you how we will move out of this room. This is how we're going to do our tea break and head out. For the speakers and board members, your tea is being served in the foyer here, right outside these doors to your right. So speakers and board members, when you head out, right on your right-hand side in this same foyer, there is your tea being served there. And then for the rest of us, there's tea being served in this room at the back and next door in Bicc, where the others were as well. So in those two rooms, in the main hall in Bicc and by the foyer. So just find yourself in one of those places and you are good to go. Otherwise, ladies, thank you so very much. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for participating as well. Real quick. So may I please have your attention before you head out? Tomorrow we'll have another competition. The winner will walk away with an internship at Makra. A round of applause. Only 100 people will be able to enter the competition. So when coming, bring your laptop. If you're looking to enter the competition, bring your laptop tomorrow. Catch the Flag is what the competition is called. At the end of it, one of you will get to walk away with an internship at MACRA. Otherwise, ladies, once again, thank you for coming. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. My name is Ruth Kulaisi. I was so very humbled to serve you today. We'll see each other real soon, okay? So let's grab our teas, let's have a chat, and have yourself a good evening as well. Hello, hello. Ladies, someone dropped their car keys. So please find this one here, this beautiful lady in the black and white. She will have them.